Welcome to Sugar Daddy's podcast, where we get real about love, money, and everything in between. I'm your host, Namon Jones, here with my co-host, Diopla Sample. What's up, D?
What's going on, Namon?
Man, they say love don't cost a thing, but what about companionship?
Hey, man, we just two grown-ass men having real talk, making real connections.
Sugar babies versus side chick. Man, let's clear up the confusion. So, if you think a sugar baby is just a side chick with a budget, you already losing the game.
That's right. That's right.
Let's break down, D, for the people, for our audience, our followers, and everyone.
Yeah.
Let's break down the differences of sugar baby, side chick, and just a little sneaky link. What's the differences of the three? So, we already talked about a sugar baby kind of, previous episodes, but let's
summarize what we talked about when it comes to the sugar baby.
Yeah, qualifications.
Yeah. So what we talked about was qualifications of a sugar daddy. Mm-hmm. But we hadn't really dove into what the qualifications are for a sugar baby.
Well, yeah, you're right. We said they got to be qualified, but we've never really dealt with what qualifies you as a sugar baby.
Right.
So I think we talk about that because that's going to be significant in the sense of what makes a sugar baby different than a side chick. One would think they're one and the same, wouldn't you?
I think it's in for me, it's in the way I perceive the relationship. Okay, so watch this. A sugar baby might have a little bit, she carry a little bit more weight than a side chick with me. Why? It's not just about being transactional for me. I like the power, the control, it's a lot of ego in that relationship.
I get that, but one would say if you dating a woman at the home and that's your main woman, and then you got a sugar baby, she the side chick. And we're trying to identify what the difference is between.
Well, that's right.
Is she a side chick?
Well, that's what I say. That's going back to, I think it's the perception that you place on it, that the sugar daddy place on the relationship. Mm-hmm. So let me give you an example. There was certain women that I had sexual intercourse with, but it wasn't frequent. It wasn't as often, right?
Okay. Sound like most marriages.
I don't know. I've been divorced twice, so
maybe that's right.
It might be.
Okay.
But the point I'm making with it is,
not often.
It's a fine line.
Okay.
It is a fine line. Like to your point earlier, like what you said before we started the episode, side chick versus sugar baby versus side chick, very fine line. What you think?
I believe it's a category. Because if I got to your point too, D, it depends on the circumstances scenario. If I got a main woman and I got a sugar baby, well, she still is a side chick in the view of if I were to get caught up or someone was to look at my situation from the outside looking in, I got a stay-at-home chick and then I'm dating somebody who's a sugar baby. They were like, oh, that's a side chick.
Right.
Now, I agree with you, though. There's a difference for me in the terms of how I would treat a side chick versus I would a sugar baby. Number one, we talked earlier in early episodes, you got to qualify to be a sugar baby. So we'll talk about that sometime again, right? But if you're a sugar baby and that's established, because I think that's what that is. That's the difference. It's an establishment of whether it's transactional, whether love is going to happen, whatever it is, there's some established rules, right? Mm. To me, side chick to me, ain't no rules. You the side chick, and a lot of times shit get blown up because while we wanted to be some rules, a side chick usually going to forget about the rules because there's not really much monetary exchange usually.
Right.
Usually it's sexual, right?
Right.
Usually it's you might take a side chick out on a date here or there.
But to your point, a side chick, in my opinion, really, she oftentimes don't understand her role.
That's my point.
Okay.
A sugar
'cause
baby
I've-
ain't gonna wanna
I-
fuck
I-
their shit up.
But I've had a side chick think
Yeah.
like she was the one.
All
Okay.
of them think they the one though.
Well, my sugar babies, I make them feel like they are the one. All right. But a side chick
Want to be the one. And
want to
knows
be the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she want to be the one.
Yeah.
But she hadn't figured out how to play the game. Right? So since she hadn't figured out how to play the game, I don't even give her the opportunity to even understand the rules because she's just what she is. She's a side chick. Right?
But side chicks supposed to have rules too, right?
Man, some
Supposed
side
to.
chicks come with a whole lot of drama. Whole lot of drama. Wanting to try to take the place, of the one that you with, and thinking that they're the one. I mean,
But do you think it's not established? And I think that's the differences of what we got on the table now, right? That's what, to me, that's one of the differences. Establishment. In a sugar baby relationship, sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, there are rules. You already know what it is. It may be transactional, could go differently, but we know what it is. You know you a sugar baby. You know it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the situation where you a side chick, sometimes they don't know they're the side chick.
well, it goes back to the perception. I give you an example. I read a post on IG today. Somebody popped in my DMs and said, sugar daddy is a trick. And I thanked her for the comment. All right.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, I thank you for the comment. And I said, well, that's your perception.
It is.
And we welcome that.
We do.
Okay.
We do.
And so that's why I say it's in the eyes of the beholder. How do you perceive that particular individual? Are they a sugar baby or are they a side chick?
Well, side chick get ghosted real quick.
Yeah, they can.
You know what I'm saying? Side chick you can blow off. Sugar baby, because there's rules, I don't. You're not really blowing them off because it's something that's already set, established, or whatever. And most sugar babies, and like I said earlier, they don't want to mess up what they got going on. You
Right.
hate to mess up a good thing. I don't know if I told you this before. I used to work. I won't name the name of the company, of course, the whole nine. But I had a boss tell me one time, major operation, whole nine, and he said, "Man, you know how you get people to continue to do what you expect them to do."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "What?" I was like, "No, enlighten me." And he said, I do what I do to y'all. I pay you well. I set you up with a nice office. I give you all the perks. You got a black card, you're going to entertain clients. You got all this going on. And then I threaten to take all that shit away from you when you fucking
Feel
up.
lost.
Yeah.
Feel lost.
So I think that's the establishment of what we're talking about when it comes to like the sugar baby, the difference of sugar baby and the side chick is like sugar babies, the fear of loss is created. Especially when you do it at the level we've done it. You do it at the level of I'm taking good care of you. I'm dicking you down real good. Beyond sex, I'm taking care of your bills. Beyond taking care of your bills, I'm taking care of your kids, your family, with trips.
Okay, so let me ask you
Fear
this.
loss.
The Shannon Sharp situation. Was that his sugar baby or was that his side chick? Or was that just...
I think it was a sneaky link. That would be, to me, a difference of a sneaky link. I think he was paying for some pussy, if I'm going to keep it 100. I think he was paying for some, don't want everybody to know that he was paying or not, or whatever it could be, right? I think he want to try to protect his brand and his image. And I appreciate the fact that, to me, Shannon Sharp is a man's man, right? He owned the shit, right? But I don't believe, my own opinion, right? I don't believe he raped her or nothing like that bullshit, right? I believe it was a monetary exchange, and there was a fear of loss.
Right.
On her part, because he didn't give a shit about us sneakily. He really didn't care.
Right.
I don't even think she was a side chick. Or she couldn't be considered a side chick because Shannon Sharp is very open by the fact that he don't have no chick.
Right.
He single.
Right.
He can do whatever the hell he want to do. So she wasn't no fucking side chick.
Right.
She was a chick trying to get a payday. Right? And trying to get her damn payday, he treated her like a little sneaky link. And that's what it was. Come and get some dick, whatever. And what's crazy, and this is how you know. from what I read, and again, I don't know all the intimate details, but from what I read, she was offered $10 million to walk away. Now think about that for a second. Remember we had an episode about one woman that we met at a bar, turned down $12,000 for 30 minutes of fucking pleasure, right?
Yeah.
You turn down 12 grand. Now, we judge, we say, but we don't judge. Ain't that what the shit say? What is it? We speak, but don't judge, right? I don't judge her, but based off of your circumstances, from what the conversation you told us about your lifestyle, where you work at, your personal appearance and all that, ain't no way in the hell you turn down $12,000 for that, right? Now, Shannon Sharp, this chick, this sneaky link, as we're going to call her, first of all, you had an OnlyFans set up. If you was banking like that and you was doing your thing, nothing against OnlyFans, shit, do what you got to do. My point with her is if you had made it to that level, you wouldn't have to do an OnlyFans and nothing else. Well, they offer her $10 million to walk away.
Right. But here's my point.
She was a sneaky link.
Yeah, but it wasn't, you know, a lot of people are upset at Shannon Sharp because of the person, of who it was that he was allegedly with. Okay, she wasn't favorable. Like, to me, I say you could have done better.
What is better though? To him, she could have been better.
But that's and it goes back to my point. So it's not always about the looks for a sugar daddy.
No, it's not. But it got to be some type of chemistry, and I don't know what that is with him.
Well, in my opinion, listening to the call,
he want a sugar daddy though.
Well,
I'm telling you, to me, it sounded like he was paying for some pussy.
I'm not gonna say he wasn't. I'm not gonna say, but hang on. But based on listening to that conversation, that was not the first time that they was hooking up.
Absolutely not.
So that means they've had prior engagements. All right, and he was seeking, in my opinion, control and power. That's what he was seeking, because clearly, she said, no.
I don't want to be choked.
I don't want to be choked.
She said, I don't want to be choked.
Okay.
So least to believe, he choked her before.
Well,
maybe. I don't know.
Whether he did or didn't. My point is, you can't see or hear. I can hear you being set up. I wasn't even there, but I can hear on the call. It's a setup.
But he breaking the rules. He breaking his own rules.
Yeah, and when you do that, even in trading, when you break your own rules.
Yeah, but in anything, if you break your rules in listen, okay. I can name anything I've done in life. I went to an HBCU. I marched in a band. I played drums, right?
Right.
But if you break the rules in the terms of what strategy you have in place, you're going to fuck up everything. You can't break the rules. You just can't break the rules. You can't, for all the band heads out there, everybody know I'm a band head, right? The rules. If you're marching, you've seen the bands perform at halftime, right? And they do different designs and they do different, we call them drills, right? Well, there's a rule. It's called 8 to 5. You know what that means? It take 8 steps, right, to get to the next 5-yard line on the football field. 8 steps, not 9, not 7, not 4. What happens if you break that rule? You fuck up the whole formation.
You out of sync.
You out of sync.
Yeah.
Man, it's the same scenario in a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship or whatever. You break the fucking rules. That's why I believe, man, transparency is key. Telling the truth. I mean, get what you want and say what you mean. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, you're far better off. You're far better off than just telling the truth, saying what it is, and following the fucking rules. Because you break it up, you're going to mess up everything.
Well, what you do is you give that person the opportunity to make their own decision about whether or not they're going to fuck with you. When you don't tell them the truth, then you take that away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
True that. True.
So,
yeah. But then that's the fear of loss we're talking about.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
It's creating that fear of loss. And so if you go back to you give them a whole lot, you do all those things, it's still rules to keep that. And the moment you break the rule, going back to the scenario I gave you, my old boss said, I pay y'all a whole lot of money. I give y'all a plush office. I give you a car so you can entertain clients. I give you a nice atmosphere. Everybody's good. You can take black car service if you need to, Uber, whatever necessary. My point is that he goes, I threaten to take it all away. Fear loss.
Yeah.
Same scenario. If you want, so my point is to you, what you just said, telling the truth is key. Because guess what? If I didn't perform at optimal level, it was going to be taken away from me. Period. I had to follow the rules of engagement.
Okay, so sugar baby
Yeah.
versus side chick
Yeah.
versus sneaky link.
Let me sum it up. My opinion. I'm going to sum it up. Sugar baby, rules, understanding. Sugar babies know their role. Sugar daddies understand their role. There's an establishment. Side chick, the only way you're a side chick is the man, sugar daddy, whomever, is not in a committed relationship or any other relationship, then you can't qualify to be a side chick. However, if you are a woman that I'm messing with and I'm in a relationship, ain't no ties to you. It's usually just sexual. I don't want to hang out for real. We ain't doing all of that. Maybe once or twice. But as a side chick, that's all you are. There's a difference. One of the reasons why they're going to show up at your crib and act crazy as hell because ain't no rules established, right? No rules, pretty much.
And then you got
The sneaky link.
Yeah.
Sneaky link is a one-off. Sneaky link is what Shannon Sharp went through to me. It's one-off. I'm going to pay for something maybe. I need to call somebody over real quick. Bop, 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 we good. Because the reason why there's a fine line between sugar baby and side chick is because they're both relationships. Side chick, you kind of in a relationship with, you know.
It's a form of a ship.
It is a form of a ship.
Yeah.
But a sneaky link,
It's a friendship.
jump off. Yeah,
it's
I
a
agree.
friendship.
It is a friendship. Sneaky link, not too many. You ain't even friends. You probably won't even see him no more. Maybe, but it is what it is, kind of thing.
I had a woman tell me the other day. She said one thing about women that you may not know. I said, what's that? She said, when a woman meets a man, she automatically know whether or not she gonna have sex with him or not.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. That's a good point. You know what it made me think about though, is major difference. Side chicks catch feelings. Sugar babies ask for the bag.
Ooh. Okay.
The bag run out, sugar baby gone. Side chick gonna fuck with you because they really want to not be the side chick.
That's a great point. Great point. So what you saying is the side chick is gonna get in her feelings.
100%. No,
But wait a minute.
They're a side chick, but they don't. To me, all side chicks fall in love because either the ones that know they're a side chick, they want to be in that number one spot, but they therefore they in love. The ones that don't know they're a side chick, they believe they the one.
What about the sugar babies that fall in love?
But that's
I've
different.
had that happen.
But they're sugar baby. They not the side chick. Sugar baby gonna ask for the bag. Side chick gonna fall in love.
Sugar baby can. Now, let me say this. To your point, one of my sugar babies, we no longer in a relationship. But I was talking with her, and she was telling me about her current situation. Okay, about how successful he was, and how successful his son is. He played football, pro ball. And so I got to thinking about that. I said, and I had asked her a question about some money,
Okay.
right? I told her, I said, when you were with me, you didn't have to ask me for no money. That kept you with money. You didn't have to ask me about what you was gonna drive. You drove the best we had. You didn't have to ask me. So so when I look at her situation now versus then and what she was communicating back to me, I'm like, no. Because certain guys, if you like me, I'm a very hard act to follow. I am. And she's been on several dating relationships and they haven't came up to parties yet. Now,
Did she say the difference? Why? Did she say?
But this is my thing. First of all, you shouldn't be without no money. I gave you the game.
Did she learn it?
You should. I don't know.
She's a bad student. She's a bad student.
I don't know. I know one thing. You should not be without no money. Okay? And not only did I give you the game, I also gave you a business. So you should not be without any money. You should be upgraded and driving to the same level that you were at when you were with me, if not better. And if you take a step down, I'm not saying every man can do. I ain't putting nobody down, okay? So I don't even want to come across it like that. 'Cause some people just haven't arrived yet, okay? I wasn't always at the level where I'm at either. However, knowing that you can do better and you choosing not to, I got a problem with that.
You think they're choosing not to?
Dude, okay.
You think this making
if a woman is a nice caliber, you know, my ex was nice. She was a nice looking caliber woman. She dressed well, smelled good. She kind of over the top, so, you know. But to go and maybe she had enough. Maybe she don't want that. You know, and I can understand that too. Maybe she don't want that. Maybe she wants somebody low key, chill, and you know, and she getting her own bag. So let me say that she getting her own bag. She doing.
She was a good student. She learned.
Well, she did. She getting her own bag.
Okay.
You know, she ain't doing bad for herself at all. So I don't want to come across like that because she is doing much better. She's doing much. I mean, when I say much better, I'm so proud of her. But I said that in reference to the guy she's dating. Like, to me, do better. Because, see, now, when I go from relationship to relationship, I promise you, I'm going to do better with the next one than I did when I was with your ass.
I think that's a must.
No, I'm saying, but going back to you.
But that's in everything I do for real. In everything I do, I'm going to try to do better than what I did before. If I leave a job, I got to do better than this piece of shit I just left. That's my mindset. If I leave a relationship, I got to do better. If you get a car, you don't want a worse car than you had before.
That's right.
You want a better one.
That's right.
I take that mindset in every aspect, so I get that wholeheartedly. But there's still that fine line in that power struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a fine line in between what the side chick is versus a sugar baby. But I think that those are the major differences. Right? Because I still believe if a true sugar baby, sugar daddy establishment is happening, and we're not talking about the love side of it, right? Because Kim got a song I was listening to today, right? And the song say, "Love always win. Love always win." That's why it's dangerous. That's why you can't be falling in love with a sugar baby, and the sugar baby can't fall in love with a sugar daddy.
I do.
And and look what happens.
I do.
Look at the outcome.
I'm just saying.
We all do. Don't go get it twisted.
saying.
We do. I'm just simply saying, though, to the point I'm making.
I love my sugar baby.
When love happens, love gonna win, and love gonna have you doing some crazy, crazy shit. Love gonna have you doing some things you don't want to do. Love gonna have you tolerate some shit you don't want to tolerate. Love will have your ass change your whole lifestyle because it's love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love, man. Love always wins. So. Fuck around. That's why a side chick situation never work out. You know why? Because love always win. Side chick gonna fall in love, or the dude that's married gonna fall in love. Somebody gonna fall in love, right? A sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship, you can kind of control a little bit more. That's why I was asking about that power dynamic, right? Why can you control a little bit more? Even if love happens. If a sugar daddy fall in love, right? And the sugar baby not in love, but that money stop, what you think will happen?
Well, of course, she
right.
know.
But usually with a side chick, because they want to be your woman, that ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's the major difference.
Right.
Man, you know, it don't matter though, man. Side chick, sugar baby. In this game, man, you know, you gotta play smart and not play soft. You know what I mean? We talked about the strategy earlier, man. If you're gonna jump into this world, you got to follow your own rules. We talked about that. You got to be smart about it. You got to really not only work your strategy, but don't put yourself in a situation and get yourself jacked up. That's why I don't think, the side chick thing, it just don't work for me.
Yeah, but sugar baby, she needs to understand what her game plan is.
Yeah, I agree.
She needs to, like, for me, it's making sure that you can conversate.
Yeah.
Upgrades the conversation. Also, creating a space where you are high valued.
But
Okay.
yeah, but see,
And not trying to rush to get the bag.
well, that's just it. So
Rushing to get the bag throw me off every time.
it
Throw
does.
me
I
off.
agree wholeheartedly. When you make it about the money, you, great. I'm glad you brought that up. Think about it. If we come right out and make it about the sex, what you think they're gonna do? If we come right out and make it about the sex, they're gonna be turned off. That's what it is. It's the same scenario when they make it about the bag.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. That same establishment exists. So I agree with you. That's a turn off completely with me. But, again, in playing this game, we play rich because if you want a high value, the higher the value, the more money you got to put out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we play rich, but you got to play smart. Man, it ain't a soft man game.
No, it's not.
You got to jump in all the way. And when I say strategy, it's your eyes are open. You at a point where ain't nothing hidden. You telling the truth, and that's what it is. That's the only way it works. So, it don't matter, though. It don't matter. Side chick for me, side chick, sugar baby. To me, yeah, I think there's a difference. Fine line, all that shit. I don't want to dive into side chicks anymore. I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah.
I think it's risk too much. If you're going to do that, don't even be in a relationship.
That's right.
I think if you're going to have a sugar baby, do that shit and be open, tell your truth, and live your creed, live your life. So, D, when we started off, we talked about, side chick versus sugar baby. And, one of the things I said was, if you think that a sugar baby is just a side chick with a budget, you already losing the game. So, why are they losing the game? Well, number one, you got to identify there's a power play. Right. So the first question we got to ask who really got the power? Because that's what we're going to come down to. Who really got the power? The sugar baby or
the sugar daddy? Man, of course, the sugar daddy.
How?
Okay, so first of all, the relationship don't exist without him. And he bringing the power, the money, the transaction, the ego, the trips. He's bringing everything to make all of that function and flow.
Right. For what?
For pleasure.
Right.
To have a great time. Like I'm not with my sugar baby so me and her can, have drama. I'm not with my sugar baby just to be.
So my point, you're right. You're in it for the value of the sugar baby too. There's a value there.
Absolutely.
So again, then there's power. There's power in the value. You paying for it. You're paying for it as a value there. So who really got the power then? Is the power in the person that got the ability to do, or is the power in the person who got the value?
I don't think it's both hands. I think the power is in the one that has the ability to do and do.
But if there was no value, if your money,
I'm not saying that the sugar baby is not valued.
However, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to identify is the value of her in terms of the power struggle, right? We're talking about the power. Who got the power?
Right.
Is her value versus our ability or our funds, resources, or what have you, right? Which one is really more powerful in this scenario?
Well,
who got the power?
Well, if I can't find value in the sugar baby, I should go get another sugar baby.
Yeah, but you're still looking for a value that you didn't find in the other one. So you're still going to be exhausting resources.
But I got the power. You ask who got the power. I have the power.
No, not in the dynamic, not at the time. You have the ability. You go find another sugar baby and she give you the same shit that the other one did, you still got the ability until you run out of resources. They still carry around the value. Even if you run out of money, right? Even if you and I run out of money, resources, whatever, they still carry the value.
They carry.
It's like having a house.
What they carry.
It's an asset.
What they carry an asset.
Yeah.
Okay, they carry an asset. Okay. There are some assets, like a house, that you pay for.
Yeah.
With interest.
Come on.
And depending on what
And
your
protect it with insurance.
that's right. But depending on what your credit score is going to determine how much you're going to pay back.
And how
So
much
wait a
money
minute.
you
So
got
wait
in
a
the
minute.
bank.
So wait a minute. So let me equate that to the sugar baby. Okay, the sugar baby. It depends on her value. Ain't just based on what she bringing to the table. Because I can go get some pussy anywhere. All right. The value for me is when she can take what she get from me and build something upon it. All right. If she just getting from me and she ain't able to increase and enhance her own lifestyle,
Yeah.
then it's her own damn fault.
I get that, but I'm just speaking. So,
But no, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
I've had if a woman can't come up, man, fucking with me, it's her fault.
Now I would agree with that. That's the to me the position of the sugar daddy. If you're in a real type of situation like that, you're gonna elevate her. She's younger. That's usually the scenario. Older guy, younger woman, right? So she should be elevated. Should be.
Well, yes. But my point is, you got some that try to rush the bag. And they're trying to rush to get to the bag, and when they don't know how to finesse the game, because it's what? A strategy.
Yeah, it is a strategy. You're right. The sugar, man, you said a mouthful there. The sugar game is a strategy, not a secret.
Right.
That's why
Right.
truth comes into play. That's why it's considered a lifestyle, and there has to be an understanding. Because at any given moment, you don't want anybody messing up not only your lifestyle, but your income, your flow, your relationships, all those things. So it's important.
Right.
That's key. Yeah. So it's a lifestyle.
I agree.
But there still is the power struggle in it.
For what? For me, I got to have power.
I think most sugar daddies want the power.
I got to have the control. If I'm spending my money, then I want what I want.
Yeah, I agree with that. Most sugar daddies want the power. Most sugar babies want.
Wait. But sometimes I really don't want it all. Now watch this.
Consistently,
if I tell people what to do all day long, right? If I'm delegating authority and I'm telling people what to do in various businesses all day, sometimes, man, I don't even want to. I want to be told what to do. Sometimes I just want to be submissive. You tell me what you want me to do.
Man, this ain't the topic for your fetishes and shit.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I hear you. No, I hear you on that. But what we're talking about,
and that's still control and that's still power and submissiveness.
But no, I agree with all of that. What you're saying, but for the purposes of this though, consistency is the key because you don't want to be. You ain't gonna be damn submissive all the time. Not you.
No, but
That's
I'm
my
saying
point.
I said sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't always want to be in control. I don't always want to, have that power. Sometimes I want to come and I want you to lead. Because I lead all day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to get around my sugar baby and she lead me and I follow.
I don't even know what to say to that. To that end, so I got an idea. So as we wrapping this up, man, this was good, but I got a thought on sweet or sour.
Okay. All right. Here we go with this segment.
Is it sweet or is it sour for a sugar daddy to have a side chick, a sugar baby, and a sneaky link?
Is it sweet or sour? Man, it's sweet and sour. It's sweet and sour.
All our topics
it's sweet and sour.
Okay.
Because in one of those situations, and more than likely, it's not the sugar baby, but the side chick or the sneaky link probably gonna be a little bit more dramatic. You probably gonna encounter some drama.
Yeah.
In some type of way. The sugar baby will understand the establishment.
Yeah.
She understands her role. She plays her role. And that is whatever he needs. If I need, mainly, I'm just looking for some good conversation.
Yeah.
Now, what go along with that, if you can stimulate my brain in our conversation, because you can look gorgeous to me, but if you don't have the ability to be able to capture me in ways that stimulate me and get me excited, and I'm not talking about sexually, I'm talking about even when it comes to dreams and you
Vision,
fulfilling your goals
absolutely,
and things like that.
Money
That's
making
what
moves.
excites me.
I agree.
Okay, and
I agree.
I'm talking to you, and you ain't got nothing. Or you still on this operating at this low level?
Yeah.
Then at that point, I'm checked out the conversation. I just move on. The side chick, I mean, it's probably more about sex, just the sex.
Yeah, than anything.
Than anything.
I agree with that.
But the sneaky link, that's somebody that you never put your faith and trust in that person.
No, at all.
Because I'm going to show you something. And this is the type of dude I am. I've had some of, like one of my partners, his woman wanted to try to sleep with me, okay? Approached me, propositioned me and everything. Me being the man, now I'm going to tell you something. The thought came through my head. Here's the thought. And she's fine.
Sour shit.
No, yeah. And she fine.
Yeah.
But the thought came through my head. I'm going to sacrifice a lifelong relationship to sleep with your woman, and she propositioned me. And I got to see you again and live with that. I told her, hell no.
Yeah.
I said, if you ever approach me like that again, I'm going to tell.
Well, for me, I think, man, it's sour.
So I'm saying but the sneaky link I'm talking about.
That's
it's
sneaky
sour
link, yeah.
because.
But I think if a sugar daddy got sugar baby, side chick, and a sneaky link, that's sour as shit. Something ain't right. Because if I got a sugar baby and we got some shit established, and I got a side chick, what the hell I need a sneaky link for? Why? It ain't even necessary for me personally. Some people do, I get it. But if I got chicken home, I got a sugar baby I'm fucking taking care of, I know I'm gonna get some pussy, and I got a side chick, what the hell I need a sneaky link for? For what? For what, Shannon Sharp? For what? I'm just saying, for what?
What is it? Is it sweet or sour?
Sour.
Wait. Is it sweet or sour for the sugar daddy to sleep with the sugar baby, the side chick, and the sneaky link at the same time?
No, that's sweet now. Man, come on. We talking about the human side of things, the man side. That's exciting and stimulating to most men. Not our other fans out there, haters, whomever else, right? Come on, we talking about the fantasy of it, of course. Most men gonna say, it's sweet. If they telling the truth, is it sweet or sour? Tell the truth.
I mean, it's sweet.
Exactly. Now ask most women. They may say sour, depending on who you ask.
I think it goes back to a moral and values
Absolutely.
type situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
well, look, until next time, we appreciate y'all so much. Listen, click that subscribe button. YouTube, follow us. Sugar Daddies with a Z. Sugar Daddies Podcast. Follow us on IG, Snapchat.
share the page.
Come on.
And don't forget, we coming with the bag.
Let's go.
The Louis bag.
Yeah. Let's go. Till next time.